Well, here we are. This was formerly known as Pinckney Elementary School. Not sure how the focus, it's supposed to zoom in, but I guess I don't know how to use that function yet. But this is no longer, I can no longer go here. This used to be school property. That is where I played Little League Baseball, in that field right there. I did. Swing back this a little bit. There. Yeah, you can see it's all overgrown now. We're by M36 here. Those of you who might be familiar. There's a cemetery over there. I have relatives and friends buried over there. But the interesting thing is that you can no longer access the playground here. This was not the playground here when I went to school. I went to elementary school in that building. That is Pinckney Elementary School. We're going to walk up there in just a minute and have a look at it. And you can see even this more modern playground equipment that was long after my tenure here is now out of service. And it seems that you are forbidden to use it. And this parking lot here does not even connect with the front parking lot anymore for some reason. I don't know why, but it no longer does. So let's have a walk up to Pinckney Elementary School and have a little stroll down memory lane, I guess, for me. Well, of course we've got wind. I'll try to shield and see if my hand will prevent some of that. And like I say, I went here. This is where I went to school from 1969 to 1974, except for one stint in the old, what was called the Hick School. Not because it was a Hick town, but it was actually named after somebody named Hick. And I believe this is the actual part here that I went to kindergarten in. And of course there's a broken window. Actually, I knew a guy that came through here and broke all the windows of this one time many years ago. It's not a good thing. And he got in trouble for it, as he should have. But this was part of the play area. Little courtyard. I remember sitting in one of those rooms in there looking out at it. And so as you can see, this does not look like it's open for business. Now it's August 5th, of course school's not in session, but they closed this building off to students some time ago and built other schools. So this is private. I don't know why. I don't know the real. I remember them selling it to anybody. Yes, that is the room I went to kindergarten in. That is it. Yep, many little cartons of milk and graham crackers I consumed in there in 1969 and 1970. Here's the front of the building, which has been renovated. Front of the building, which has been renovated since my tenure here. You can see that most of this looks to be structurally at least quite salvageable, at least. Yet they've built other elementary schools since then, and and some of those have been closed. And I don't know. Now I understand that the district had grown at one point, and 24-hour video surveillance while I'm helping out. Private property. Who did they sell it to? I understand that the area had grown some at the time, and there were other concerns like that. But it just seems foolish to me when I think of things like this. We have functional buildings, and then we go and use money to build new buildings and then close those. I'll let you think about that and come up with your own opinion, but it just seems like there's a lot of wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars in these things. And I'm a public school teacher, so speaking to it is what it is. And sometimes things like this, I think, make it difficult to get millages passed for people to agree to pay additional taxes on top of the already high tax burden that most people have, or everybody does, unless of course you're living on what a lot of what pays those taxes go for, handouts. Office was back in here, and of course it doesn't look like much has happened. They supposedly, I don't know, it doesn't say private property anywhere on the parking lot. I guess the parking lot is not private, but apparently the building is, or at least we're being told that it is. I did not know of any sale of this. Lots of games of softball played back here. Lots of schoolyard bullying, things like that. There was plenty of that. It's not new. Bullying is not new. I got bullied some. I survived. No, bullying is bad. All those things are bad, but my gosh, everybody is a victim, supposedly, and you know, we do get over these things. We work with them, and a lot of people who are not bullied commit suicide, and a lot of people who were don't. I don't know. I don't have all the answers for that. I'm just, I guess I just get weary of how I think a lot of societal entities play upon these things and exploit them. This, of course, is a storage facility. This was not here when I went to elementary school. And I'm not sure how big that tree might have been at that time. I'm sure it was there. Well, maybe not. That was, it was over 40 years ago that I went to school here. But, little trip down memory lane for me. We'll walk up here and take a look inside of see if we can see inside here. Well, let's see if we can see inside. Let's see, not sure if you can see that or not. It looks like wreckage. What a shame. It's got that old abandoned building musty smell to it. I'm not even inside. So I best be careful here. That could be a problem. Actually, I knew a guy that a glass shard fell on him and cut his arm, and he bled to death. Let's see if we can have a look over here. Under video surveillance, I'm not sure what they're surveilling. I mean, this is pretty bad shape. Well, they can come and ask me questions if they'd like, but not much to see in there. Yes, pretty well abandoned. Kind of wasteful in my opinion, but there's plenty of that. So that'll be my trip down memory lane for today anyway. To be you, pass it on, I think is what it is. All right, that's enough of that. Actually, let's see if we can see into this little part here. Let's see if we can see in here a little. Oh, the hallway looks pretty abandoned, doesn't it? Yeah, I remember office is right down there. I remember getting sent to the office because the teacher, my first grade teacher, who I did not like, she was not a good teacher. I think she was having a rough, at least she wasn't that year. I think she was having a rough time, and then it spilled over into her work. It happens. But she sent me down to the office because I had my cootie shocks out when I wasn't supposed to have them out. And then some of the kids dared me. That wasn't here when I went to school, that part, but it's certainly. But the other kids dared me to go take them off of her desk when she wasn't looking. And then, of course, me being the sly first grader that I was at the time, got busted and sent down to the office. And then I got a note sent home from the teacher, who my mother did not care for either. Get told what I had done. And then I told my mother that I didn't care what I did in school. And that's one of the few times my mother spanked me. It's very different now. If I got in trouble at school, that was nothing compared to what I got home when I got home. It's very different now. Kids get in trouble at school, and it's all automatically the school's fault, or whatever school personnel, school employee that disciplined the child, up to all this scrutiny. And granted, there are some times where there's unreasonable discipline, but boy, the pendulum certainly has swung, just like the rules with adoption. Well, there's my van. I'm going to go back, get in it, and go home.